Hi there. I'm just waiting a few minutes for some more participants to come on, so I'll just drum in the meantime. Okay, I'm just gonna, hello everyone, Deb here, and Deb Dwell, the Sacred Soul Messenger, and I'm just simply gonna continue drumming for a couple more minutes, waiting for people to come in. So I invite you at this time just to close your eyes and to just feel the beat. Take a deep breath in, please. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in, please. And breathe out. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in, please. And release. Can someone please tell me if you can hear me okay? If you could just type in the message, I'd really appreciate that. Beautiful. Hi, Jen. Thank you. Awesome. Hi. We have Becky and Jen and Tolu, I think, and E. So hello. I'll just let everybody another minute or two and then I'll start, if that's okay with everyone here. Thank you so much for coming today. I really, really, truly appreciate that. We're just going to continue to take deep breaths in. And we're going to release. Taking another deep breath in. And release. One more deep breath in. And release. Well, hello. I'm going to start, and people can come in as they want. I'd like to introduce myself. First of all, welcome to Healing Through Shamanism. My name is Deb DeWild. I'm otherwise known as the Sacred Soul Messenger. Essentially, even before I was named a shaman, I would journey to alternative worlds to meet my teachers, guides, and loved ones. I've always had the ability to do this naturally. It wasn't until I was at a retreat that I was identified as a shaman. I wore many hats. I just never thought about shamanism. I am a Reiki master. I'm a Akashic Record facilitator. I'm a Time Heals facilitator. I can balance chakras. I have a litany of different things. I can read cards. I can read energy. I'm considered to be an animal whisperer, all that. And I've always been drawn to nature, but I've never thought about shamanism until I went to this retreat almost 10 years ago now. The more I researched shamanism, the greater I understood exactly who I was at my core. It's my honor to present this 2-day masterclass with you. So today we're talking about what shaman consciousness is and why it's important for your soul's path to freedom. Consciousness is generally placed in one of two categories. The waking consciousness, where we are alert and we're aware of our surroundings, and the unfocused, non-waking consciousness, where we're either sleeping, unaware of our surroundings, or simply unconscious of our surroundings. So sometimes we walk through in life and we're essentially kept in our heads. You know, we're always thinking, and we're never able to be present with what's happening in the moment. And sometimes, I don't know if you've done this, but I've certainly done this where I've driven from point A to point B and had no idea how I got there. That's kind of like the unconsciousness of our surroundings. That's the best description I can do of that. I just know that sometimes I get from point A to point B and I'm just unaware. I'm safe. I've known where I've gone. I know where I have to get to. But sometimes it's a matter of thinking, am I really present with the driving in that moment? Shamanic consciousness blends the focused awareness of waking consciousness with the unfocused dreams, flow of dreams, inner vision, and non-waking awareness or consciousness. The shamanic state of consciousness is much more focused and alert than dreams. It's a special state of being aware of consciousness that shamans are able to view close surroundings as things that are non-ordinary in our reality. In other words, I'm able to see things in particular areas that are messages from spirit, that are hints and communication, and I'm able to flow and weave in and out of the consciousness versus unconsciousness in order to assist people to understand, to hear spirit or source, essentially. Excuse me. The shamanic state of consciousness is much more focused and alert than dreams. So I'm aware of both the concrete everyday world that we experience as humans, as well as the abstract worlds. For me, shamanic consciousness blends the focused awareness of waking with the unfocused flow of dreams. So shamans have the ability to separate the concrete from the abstract, fostering a special guided imagery guided by your higher self. Your higher self exists in the spirit realm. Your higher self, in simple terms, is the highest aspect of you that can be attained and held in the physical body. It's the part of you that knows, sees, and understands at the highest level possible, while the physical part of you still continues to move around in the third dimension. So when I think of that, when I go into meditation and I connect with my higher self, to me, I feel like the higher self is the part of me without all societal's constrictions that are placed on me, on our daily living and our what we have to, what we should, those types of things. That to me is it's kind of all stripped away when I deal with my higher self, because doesn't have the pressures of today. It doesn't have the sorrow from yesterday. It doesn't have the I can't wait for tomorrow stuff. It's in the present. And when I connect with my higher self, or I help others connect with their higher selves, what happens is all of that just unhooks and fades away. Just fades away. So what we do is we anchor the wisdom of your higher self into your physical person. And it's very much part of our human spiritual evolution and purpose. Shamanic consciousness allows the shaman to be aware of all levels and worlds at the same time. That is what's meant by saying that the shaman exists between the worlds. So for me, I have both the concrete and the abstract levels have significant meaning and validity on a constant basis. I could be somewhere, they want me to tell you about the grocery store. I could be at the grocery store getting, the groceries for the week. And then I pick up a particular piece of fruit, and there could be something about that fruit that I'm supposed to be exceptionally aware of, to pull in the energies of. And I do this constantly. It's something that is just in me. It's not something that I have to stop and think about. It's just something that I'll go, oh, and I accept and I move on and continue my shopping, if you will. I hope that makes sense. It's a matter of being present when you're working with the different worlds on a consistent basis. It's a matter of being present with them all. Excuse me. So that I interact with both worlds on a continuous basis. And often I look, when I do that as a human being in this world, often I look like I am not paying attention, or if I'm really thinking pretty hard, or just absent. And the truth is, I'm anything but that. I'm 100% the opposite. I am 100% the present with you, with that piece of fruit, with the leaves outside, with the air conditioner that's running in the background right now. It's all part and parcel of it. I just have many heightened senses that come into play. So as a shaman, I have the ability to draw in information and wisdom from all levels and abilities, and not to confuse them with each other. So to give an example, living like a living tree, the shaman is rooted in concrete consciousness while reaching into abstract consciousness. So we can carry the ancient analogy of the shaman as a living tree in a deeper way, though. The trunk of the tree can represent the shaman in relation to the middle world of what's happening in your present day, in the earth world, as well as the connected channel between the upper and lower worlds. So the deepest roots can represent the pure energies of nature encountered on earth journeys, and the highest limbs can represent the shaman reaching into the upper astral aspects of spirit encountered on vision quests. The place where the roots of the tree meet the ground can represent the strength and the balance needed by the shaman to stay centered in personal power. Well, that was a lot. So Interestingly enough, I spend a lot of time hugging trees. And when I get into my heart space, and I can either hug the tree, and I hug some pretty big trees, or I can just lean back with my back on the tree, with my heart in my heart, with my hands on my heart space, and be able to say, excuse me, I'm just going to stay present. And essentially what happens is then I hear messages. I download information. You have to excuse my coughing, I apologize. I'm just going to take something for that. So, when people like me follow the shamanic path, we begin to explore mind and consciousness by making other world journeys. The symbol of shaman as the living tree is a solid reminder of the kind of balance and connectedness needed to have effective and positive results. When I sit down, when I first was taught how to meditate, I was taught to sit and imagine roots coming, my tree coming through as my legs, as roots going into the center of the earth and holding on to the center pole in the earth and just wrap it around. And that meant no matter where I was in this world, I, without question, had the ability to stay grounded. I did that. I used to do those activities. Used to meditate a lot. Just in absolute quiet places. And it really helped me when I had to go away or was at work and wasn't, where you're behind, you're in an office somewhere and you're behind closed doors and you don't have the fresh air, the open windows, all that kind of thing, or that at least ground me. And so we would use that. And when I walk through labyrinths, one of the big things to open yourself up is to reach out and sky like you are the branches of that tree. So it's reaching from above as below, essentially. And all of that, and people choose different things. People are more comfortable with their arms up and open, and often you see people praying like this as well, or at concerts, heaven to Betsy, at concerts, a lot of people are just, swaying back and forth, and they're doing their thing, and what they're doing essentially is they are engaging in accepting the energy. They're reaching out and they're accepting that energy. It's the same with the tree roots. We're reaching out and we're grounding in that energy. Grounding in that energy. So the three main reasons for working in shamanic consciousness are empowerment. It gives the individual the ability to restore power. To those of us who have experienced trauma, grief, and any type of abuse in their lives. And grief can be of many levels. Grief doesn't have to necessarily mean I lost my dad last week, he died. There's different levels of grief. There's grief of relationships. There's grief of milestones you anticipated. There's grief, there's particular grief around societal expectations and what's placed on us. For example, my mom was a very young mom, and I thought in order to have a happy life, I needed to marry young, and I needed to have my children young. And so I didn't do that. In the end, I ended up with a career first and got married and had children second. And for that, I had this high level of grief because I didn't do things in the manner that was expected of me. And then the other societal expectations that are placed on you with that are, I was considered to be bold. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to empower people. I knew that through all the different layers of grief, of abuse, of trauma that I experienced, that I could help others and empower others. And again, this is one of the main core reasons for working with shamanic consciousness, is to help people get unstuck. Excuse me. And stuck we get. And the weight of all that those little things that pick at you, and you know, suddenly everyone's whitening their teeth, and all these different things that are happening. You know, we're all going into a different, healthier direction, and different body types are starting to be accepted. Those kinds of things, but those are expectations that are placed on us. And one of the things I'm able to do, because it even happens to me, even in my life today, I don't think about what my weight is on a daily basis. I don't think about what I look like in the mirror on a daily basis. But sometimes I get caught off I'll be somewhere and I'll get a point of reflection. And that's not who I am on the inside. And there's nothing wrong with who I am on the outside, but what happens is that I begin to do what society has impressed on me. I'm just saying, oh my goodness, that's not okay. Oh, you know what I mean? I'll critique myself, and that's not okay. This isn't okay. But that's not who I am. Who I am is my soul. I am a soul here having a human experience. Point number 2, divination. So shamanic consciousness gives us the ability to access information from the inner worlds through divination. In other words, accessing information or symbols on the individual's behalf in response to their questions about specific challenges. So when I work with people to go into Vision Quest, I ask them to create an intention. So we speak the intention out loud, and then we go into a deep level of meditation through the drumming for the Vision Quest. And I never know what the symbols, what the answers, or how they will even come through, but they do. And it could be the simplest thing, but it means everything to the person going through the Vision Quest, everything. And they're able to experience what people talk about. They're able to experience for themselves who they are at their core versus who we are in today's society. And in shamanic healing, through Vision Quests, through soul retrievals, through past life regressions, we can assist in the healing at the different levels: physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual needs. So what happens is it allows the restoring the fabric of your personal soul. It is incredible to feel a piece of your soul come back, to go to a past lifetime, to be able to understand, you know, I think, why do I have this in my body? Or why do I feel this level of abandonment? Why do I feel like I need to grab my child and never let them go? And the truth is, going back in time into different lives, I've been able to understand different things about myself with different lifetimes, with different worlds that I come from. My high need to drum, for instance, my beautiful ability to work with feathers and crystals. Excuse me. I experienced a past life where I had the same issue in my leg. Where that stemmed from, I'm not sure, because we haven't gone that far in past life. But we're getting there, and it's all a process. And as you weave and you heal and you restore the fabric of your soul, you become less involved in society's expectations. You become greater at being centered. You have the ability to step into your own power. And the greater I step into my power, the less those societal expectations affect me, and the less that my parental upbringing truly affects me. There were great parts and there were not so great parts growing up. And ultimately, some of them were absolute lessons, yes. And there are lessons in the trauma. But going beyond and seeing who I am at a soul level, being able to travel through the different worlds, has been able to gift me with the ability to heal, the ability to move between the different worlds, and the ability to help others heal. I have the ability to see what others are seeing during their vision quest, during their soul retrieval or past life regression. So in other words, shamanic states of consciousness and methods of transcendence give the shaman the ability to channel the energy of the universe. And shamanism isn't a religion. Does anyone have any questions to this point? I'll just wait a minute. You're welcome to type them in the message space. I'll give you another minute. It's time to jump. I'll jump for a couple minutes and see how that goes. And if no one has any questions, that's okay. All good. Oh, thank you. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Excuse me. So, we're moving on to point 2. What are the tools to communicate with your soul so you can align with your soul's purpose and mission? Well, we were just talking about societal norms. So one of the hardest things to do is to unhook from those societal norms. And to make it even clearer, there's a certain box that we are taught we need to fit in society. And I've never fit in the box. So typically in the box, you are thin, you're smart, your hair looks a particular way, you have long nails, you sit prim and proper, you walk in heels. When I was growing up, we had to have straight hair. and I had to like rip my hair straight with a heating iron. I never was cool or in because I wasn't thin, which meant I didn't always wear what the other kids wore. And it's like I didn't even have the right type of feet. And as crazy as that is, the people who have the long feet and the long toes, they were in. So I used to be teased. I used to be teased for weight. I used to be teased for my frizzy hair. I used to be teased because I didn't have the longest toes. I used to get teased for my expressions. And the truth is, I just didn't belong. I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like I got in. And we all have those different things. We all have those things. I was put on diet after diet after diet. I was told I was too sedentary. And ultimately, all those norms made me feel that I was not welcome, that I did not belong, and that there was something wrong with me. When I went to college and then university, I have to tell you that I really discovered there wasn't, and in you were to be married at a certain age and have your children by 25, 27. Excuse me. So and everyone else has their own societal norms, but it's through detaching the societal expectations that gives us a space to welcome the unforeseen new possibilities that spirit has to offer when we release the weight of what others expect us to do, how to speak, or determine what we look like. You actually are given the space to be you, to step into your own light, to be who you are, and to be who you want to be. Second thing is to be present with the now. So that really means slowing down the pace of life, and we become more present, more awake. We become more aware. This allows us to become more able to meet the vibration of the other side, which is based in love and peace. The more that you can quieten everything down, the more that you can go within, where you're not answering your phone, you're not getting the next text, no one's knocking at the door, whether you're in a bathtub, whether you're sitting against a tree. I love to sit at the ocean. I ground very well at the ocean. I just love to lay there and listen. I don't read, I don't talk, I just meditate. I just listen to the ocean. Love that ocean. So we're welcoming the unforeseen, the new possibilities of what life has to offer, with spirit, with source, whatever you like to call it, whatever, what they have to offer us. When we're present with the now, and we slow down the pace of life, we become more present. And when we become more present, we are able to meet the vibration of the other side of love and peace. It's actually incredible. The essence of what is in the different worlds is almost undescribable. I have, on a few different occasions, I have absolutely been exposed to the energy on the other side where it's personal to me and I'm not simply assisting someone else. And I've been, and when these things happen, when I'm at a function, and I'm not expecting this to happen, it's actually brought me to my knees. And just, you feel the glory is the word that's coming to me right now. It's absolutely incredible. So my vibration, that level of vibration is so filled with love of source. I wish you could feel it. And maybe we'll practice that after. So beware and honor the signs. So honor the signs you receive. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a feather, maybe it's a song. Recently for me, it was a baby deer. It was my birthday, and my family has passed on, and I'm the only core family member left. And for my birthday, my Freedom 55 birthday, a few days ago, I actually wanted a sign. I wanted a sign from family that they knew what day it was. And so I had these, human experiences, even though I'm able to ebb and flow between the different worlds of consciousness, unconsciousness, and things. But I asked for a sign. So we're driving to get to somewhere, and the vehicles all in front of us are stopped. I see a mama deer and a baby doe running through the street. So everyone stopped to make sure that they're safe. The mom runs into the field, and just happens to be an undercover officer who gets out of the car, excuse me, and he's trying to do stuff with the doe. It's not working. And I see him put his gloves on. So at this point, my car stopped. I run out, and I know my job is to secure this baby doe. And I run out, and by this time, the baby had literally tucked itself under the wheel, under the undercover officer's vehicle. So I yelled to the other person in my car, bring a blanket. And I looked at the officer and I said, I know how to deal with this deer, and I will get it out safely. So because he didn't know what to do. I mean, he's standing there, he's leaning over, and the deer is just absolutely afraid of him. So I approached the deer and I spoke to it intuitively, and the blanket had arrived. And so I put the blanket over its body, and the doe was just beautifully still. And then I looked into the deer's eyes and the little baby, and I said, it's okay. And then I finished putting the blanket on her head, and then I scooped it up. And what was really sweet is that an officer and another man helped me get up. So here I have on my hands, on my knees, on the ground, underneath the vehicle. I scoop up the little baby deer. I pick it up, and all three of us stand together. And I have this baby deer against my chest, wrapped up in a blanket, so I'm not touching it. And the mother had disappeared into the woods. So I start walking. And what's the point of telling you this? It wasn't until I was walking with this deer on my chest at my heart space that I realized that was a sign from my mom. Excuse me. I mean, my adrenaline was running, I was moving, but I was very centered at the same time. Once I got a hold of that deer, my mom's favorite thing, and she would have little sculptures of baby deer around her house. And I'm walking through the field, just like the field I would walk through with many people in their vision quests. And then I realized that I was in the center, in the space of exactly where I would be in a vision quest, and that my family, my mom, had sent that baby doe, that situation, to me. And I cried. And the sign was there. There was no other way that could have happened, I believe. It was just perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I released that little baby, and I thanked her for her gifts. And she cried to her mom. She got up and she moved. And I checked on her later, and she was gone. So the message came through. I mean, who would have thunk it, I would say? Who would have thunk it? You have traffic stopped. You have a mom and a baby and trying to cross the road, and the mom takes off. The officer doesn't know how to approach this deer, And he just let me do what I was going to do. I essentially almost threw myself under his vehicle and yelled for a blanket, got the blanket, scooped her up, and we all stood. And I have to tell you, the officer was really clear after on, making sure, he wanted to make sure I was going to let the little baby go. And that was very kind of him to make sure that I was respecting nature, and that was beautiful. And that was so profound, so profound. The signs are everywhere is what I will find. I am considered, my nickname is Feather, and I am considered the Feather Lady, and I make really special one-of-a-kind smudging fans, and I find feathers everywhere. And different feathers have different meaning. And some people find pennies, some people find hearts in things, some people find flowers. It just depends on what the sign is that either your higher self, spirit, your loved ones, your masters and teachers are trying to tell you, trying to show you. It's beautiful. And when you're able to connect, when you're able to ground, when you're able to be present, you're connecting with your soul. And you see more of those signs. If I gave you homework, I would have to say it'd be really lovely to see if you looked today for and any different signs, see what you find. You might find a feather. Let me know. I would love to know. I would absolutely love to know. The more you can open up your heart, the greater that you can connect with your soul. Meditate in your heart space. Practice being present in your heart space. This takes away from being present with our physical selves and aids us to move into beyond what is concrete in front of us to the spirit world. People meditate with guided meditations, with silent meditations, with meditations that you interact with, where you have a goal. Sometimes people meditate where you can look at a problem, or you can look at a problem. This is the problem. This is what I'd like to change, and this is what I'd like to see in the future. That's always lovely. Or there's very specialized different type of mantra meditations. There's, the drumming meditation, all different kinds. But if you meditate in your heart space, that is what's going to give you a greater center of yourself and a greater level of peace. Practice more in nature. Hug a tree. Walk barefoot in the grass. Spend time walking through a labyrinth. For me, walking in a labyrinth, although I automatically walk into the pattern system of a labyrinth, what it does is it actually takes me to my heart space. I don't think about it. I just know autonomically that I need to follow the pattern. And the rest, I listen, I observe, I'm present, and I talk to spirit. Pardon me. Now, walking barefoot in the grass, I love it. I do it all the time. People call it grounding or earthing. It's a way of connecting with Mother Earth. I love to feel Mother Earth's heartbeat that way. I love to watch the birds in the flight patterns that they have. I love to watch the way the leaves are turning and determine what's happening along the energy with that. Oh my gosh, in the sea, watching the water, or even listening to a brook, the water in a brook, or the high intensity of water in a waterfall, or places that, high rapid water, that is absolutely takes me to a different level. So the question is, what is it for you? What is it for you that takes you into that different level? Because what it does essentially is you're looking for something that takes you out of your head and puts you closer to your soul. Write a note to your soul. So in this, it's something that you can go deeper with. Don't censor what comes out. Just ask the question and sit, and then write the answers. Because no one's going to be there to question you, to look at different things and how things are imagined. It's just simply a matter of what's coming out, what's flowing, allow it all to flow. And it's okay if you answer tough questions, you know, and it's okay to let things go and to be honest and say, you know, I didn't do the best here, but these were the symptoms. This is what was happening. This is all the external things. So how can I build up for that occurs again? Those kinds of things. Breathe deeper. When you breathe deeper, you bring yourself back to here and now. It's beautiful. It stops all the noise, all the noise. And lastly, it's about losing yourself in something that you love. I love to create one-of-a-kind smudging fans. Do you think I have one here? I don't. But I love working with feathers. I love working with crystals. And the energy that's placed into that fan is for that person. And sometimes I just play and I just create fans. And I just sell just created fans. And those end up going to the people they're supposed to go to. Is really interesting. What do you like to do that you love? Do you love to sing? Do you love to play with crystals? Do you love to chop wood? What is it that you love to do? What is it that you love to do? Does anybody have any questions or comments at this time? You're very welcome. Thank you, Becky. I'm glad you're loving all this information. Well, thank you. So we still have a few minutes. Would you like to go and do a heart space activity? We can do all one together. Just let me know if you're interested in that. Okay. Awesome. So you just make sure you're able to listen. You don't have to see me at this point. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and make sure that your body is comfortable and supported. Your feet are not, your hands are uncrossed and your feet and legs are uncrossed. And what I'm asking you to do is I'm going to ask you to take in a deep breath. Go all the way down to the pit of your stomach and release. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in and release. One more time, another deep breath in through the nose. Hold and release. In your mind's eye, I'm asking you to place one of your hands on your heart space. And the next time you breathe in, I'm asking you to breathe in so that your breath moves through your heart, through your belly, and gets transferred through your arm and directly into your heart space. Excuse me, we're going to do that 3 times. Okay, in through the nose. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And last time, I'd like you to inhale and direct that energy into your heart space. And exhale. So in your mind's eye, I'd like you to imagine, sense, or feel that you're sitting in a beautiful canopy in your heart space. You are safe. You are loved. And what Spirit tells me is that this is a place for you just to feel relief, to allow all of your worries, concerns, aches, and pains, allow them to dissipate through the hammock and into the center of the earth. Hand them over to Gaia. I feel some tension, so we're going to do this again. Inhale, please. And as you exhale, release. Again, inhale and exhale. And release. Beautiful. And as you swing in your hammock, Spirit shows me that there is a flower there for you. You're guided to pick up the flower and place it on your heart chakra. Notice the color. Notice the flower type. Notice the fragrance. The depth of the greenery. Beautiful. And as we stay centered in our heart space, Spirit wants you to sprinkle the flower over you and absorb its essence of scent, texture, color, strength. Excellent. Excellent. And now Spirit is telling me that there's a crystal for you to pick up that's near your hammock. If you could pick that up now, please. And today's crystal is going to be a clear crystal point. Place it in both palms of your hand. Feel its energy. Beautiful. Now switch the hands so that the top part of your palm is below and your lower palm is now above. Excellent. Now I want you to imagine, sense, or feel. You're going to place that crystal on your heart chakra. And you're going to assimilate that into your chest. You're going to absorb its energy, absorb its frequency. Take a deep breath in, please, and release. Beautiful. Now, what I'd like you to do is start rubbing your hands together. This temple, where there's the hammock and the flower, and the place where the crystal was, is yours there to visit anytime you want to get more comfortable with your heart space. And today, all they want you to do is to acknowledge, absorb, and trust as you move your hands together back and forth. We're going to be coming back into your body, into your room. And with your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you to put your chin to your chest. Please open your hands and very slowly open your eyes to look into your palms. And when you're ready, you can raise your head and put your palms down. Beautiful. Does anybody have any feelings on that or thoughts? Questions? Experiences? You may need to get a little bit of water. Beautiful. Becky says that she has an overwhelming calm feeling right now. And Jen says it was very peaceful. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And this is just the beginning. Please making sure that you drink lots of water today. It's always good to just do a cleanse with water. I'm asking you to join me tomorrow when we talk about what a vision quest is and how traveling between the different worlds will bring forth additional grounding and healing. And to experience how you can expand your consciousness awareness through experiencing a vision quest right here in part 2 of Healing Through Shamanism. So I thank you so very much for joining me today, and you will be receiving the replay within a day or two, and that's up to my VA. And I thank you for the honor of working with you today, for the honor of presenting to you today, to be able to talk more about shamanism and my experiences with shamanism. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow so we can journey together. And I'm going to leave you with just a little bit of drumming to help ground things out. Okay? I'm going to pick this different one. There we go. So I have a website, sacredsoulmessenger.com. I am on Facebook, Sacred Soul Messenger with Deb Wild. You can follow me on Instagram, Sacred Soul Messenger. You can connect with me under Deb Wild. Thank you again for joining me today, for joining Spirit. We're thanking Spirit for coming in and helping us evolve through even discussion of shamanism, of connecting with Source. And I look forward to journeying with you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you.